What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Scene Snobs reviews, and we checked out Frankenstein, the new one directed by Guillermo del Toro. It stars Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as the monster himself, Mia Goth is in it, and it has just a great supporting cast. I absolutely was blown away by this. I love the book Frankenstein. I've written reports on it before. The 1931 film by James Whale is one of my absolute favorites. I love the art direction, the acting. Boris Karloff's performance is fantastic, and I can go on and on about that one, but let me talk about this one. This one adapts it even further. It takes elements from the movies and sort of incorporates them into the books. I love what they did with the family and the cottage in the middle of France, and little things like that, like adding the blind man element into it and him being a teacher for Frankenstein's monster, and then sort of like adding this father and son dynamic by seeing Victor Frankenstein's mother and father and his dynamic with them. Charles Dance does a really good job as his father role in that, and just overall the movie adds elements that sort of makes the story seem deeper, darker. I really like that. I wasn't a huge fan of Crimson Peak. I thought the movie looked amazing, but as far as the story went, it was gothic, it worked out well, it was a nice little sort of ghost story. But this is, I feel like, hit its stride. He adapted this story so well, and I really had a good time with it. The cinematography is very bleak, very dark, which I imagine, especially in the writing of the book, is sort of what they were supposed to be going for. And especially with Guillermo del Toro's sort of eye and his vision for that gothic look, I feel like this fit well with what we were getting in terms of the story. And I love the dynamic of the storytelling aspect of Victor telling his story and then the monster getting a chance to tell his story, and these two sides come together and converge, and you find out who the real monster is throughout it and why. That's an important factor in this. But they play with the science fiction element really well in this. The horror is there and it works. Jacob Elordi, who I didn't think was going to work as a monster, and I didn't overall totally love the look of his, but I felt it really worked. There was like this beauty to this monster character that stood out so well and so jarringly against the backdrop of everything else we were seeing. We see so much ugliness in these human characters that when he steps out, you really do feel it. And the look of him, of course, you're never going to actually go for that 1931 iconic look of Boris Karloff. You're going to go with something different, something that sort of matches the tone of the book, I'm sure, especially being a Del Toro fan. And that's something that he really pulled off well, I thought, and especially with the stature of Elordi and the way he acted in the role, you felt the presence of the monster in every role. And you did feel this sort of sense of beauty every time you saw him, as much as you felt like this darkness or this scary aspect to him. Really, the horror comes from Oscar Isaac, which I think works perfectly. Mia Goth plays such a beautiful character as Elizabeth, and she did such a great job. I do like more and more as she's been coming up, like the roles she's been getting. She's been doing so well. And in this one, does a great job. Really, I don't always feel like she was the perfect fit for a gothic tale like this in the Victorian era, but every time she's on screen, she like commands this presence that just really works, and I think that worked well in this movie. And the fact that it's not really a love story, but still is, it has those elements, it made it feel really good, and especially the fact that there's a triangle going on there between a lot of different characters. So I would love to hear what you guys think about this movie. But that's my feelings on Frankenstein 2025. What did you think about this movie? I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I think this was just really good. I'm going to check it out again. I like this whole revisiting, like Nosferatu last year, Robert Eggers, now Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro, and I'd like to see more kind of revisited in these Universal monsters in this way. What did you guys think? Sound off in the comments and let us know. Also, let me know what you thought of the review. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow us over on Letterboxd too, or over on Substack. We do written reviews as well. I'm at the Scene Snobs there and all over our social media and stuff like that, so you can follow us there as well. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Subscribe for more. We have content every day, live streams, more reviews like this of classic reviews, new reviews, and everything else in between. Thank you for being a part of it. Hit that bell so you know when the stuff's coming out and it's all new, and we love having you here. But until next time, everybody, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, because that's important. Be kind, rewind, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.